Good morning and welcome to the Wednesday, September 27th Strategic Planning, Information Technology and Transportation Committee meeting. Time is 8:01 and we'll call this meeting to order. We have all members present. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the March 22nd, 23 meeting. Need a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. And the next item on the agenda is the strategic plan theme C initiative 1A with Jared McGraw and Kasha Giddings.
All right. Good morning, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Houlihan, UCPS team members. I have a brief presentation. I'm going to share my screen with all of you, and hopefully I'm successful here. So this morning, I'm going to be providing an update on the strategic plan, theme C, which is foster a positive learning experience for all of our UCPS students, initiative 1A. I know you're all familiar with the identified competencies of the portrait of a graduate. So in order to foster a positive learning experience for all of our students, the portrait of the graduate playbook was created as a district initiative in partnership with the academics team, the student support team, and the school performance teams. We also had representatives from all of our schools, so students could develop those skills for the future workforce readiness to be successful. The portrait of the graduate playbook does touch on students' durable skills. We launched the portrait of the graduate years ago, and the playbook was actually launched this past school year. This is being implemented across all UCPS schools at this time. So, portrait of a graduate, the school leaders and student support team members, we've spent hundreds of hours developing the UCPS playbook and its contents. The playbook's organized into grade bands K through 2, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and then 9 through 12. Student support team members served, and we continue to serve on the Portrait of the Graduate Steering Committee and are utilizing the playbook to serve all UCPS students. And these bullets highlight some of that work that's been done. I'm going to move on from the Portrait of the Graduate to highlight some of the partnerships that we use to foster that positive learning experience for all of our students. The main one I'm going to highlight today is the Behavioral Health Collaborative with the Department of Social Services. As you all know, that's been going on for about 5 to 6 years. Ms. Giddens works directly with Ms. Neal with the county. We also have a good partnership with Ms. Lance, who is the Director of the Department of Social Services. That collaborative extends the support of our school mental health therapists and our school social workers, so all of our students across our district have access to much needed resources when it comes to student support. Ms. Giddens is going to talk now about some of the process, procedures, and teams, and then a couple of other things before we end our presentation. So Ms. Giddens.
Yes, good morning. So I'm coming to talk about our process, procedures, and teams. We've developed quite a few of these across the district to enforce especially safety. One of those procedures processes is the suicide intervention protocol that we train all of our student support members across the district in. This helps us to be able to work with students who are potentially struggling with the idea of suicide and hopefully pair them with the appropriate resources once informing their parents of this particular struggle. We also work with the threat assessment intervention protocol, and we did a refresher this year. We're moving into the second year of doing that. This is a multidisciplinary team that includes administrators, student support staff, and even teachers, and is a preventative measure, and it's developed on the U.S. Secret Service model. So both of those procedures really help enhance not only the resources that we provide for students, but really the safety measures that we put in place. Next slide. Thank you. So I just kind of want to circle back to the thought process of durable skills and preparing our students being future ready. And that's what our outreach and our support really focuses on. One of those ideas, or one of those things that we've really put in place in we're moving into our second year, is the 8th grade Bridge to High School pilot program. Last year, we focused on a middle school, 2 middle schools and 2 high schools in the Forest Hill and Monroe clusters. And this idea was to put information before parents in an earlier timeline. We extended the timeline to really start this work in the fall, and then make sure that people had this information at their fingertips so they can help make sure that students and that they understood what academies we offered, the things that we were offering at the school, and making sure they understood what courses that were necessary, so that if they needed to pivot, that they can have access to the things they needed and the rigor they needed in the high school program. We're moving into the second year of this pilot, and we're expanding it to include 2 more schools, which include Sun Valley High School and Sun Valley Middle School, and then Porter Ridge High School and Porter Ridge Middle School. And those are just a few of the outreaches that we have in place at this time.
So board members, you can see that we're doing some great things as always with UCPS under Dr. Houlihan's leadership and the board's leadership. The district initiative of the Portrait of Graduates being supported by the strategic plan and many other initiatives. But we thank you for the time to present this morning. And do you have any questions?
I do. So the parent sessions, do we have any idea what topics we want to offer this year?
Yes, we've been discussing that. Ms. Giddens, you want to kind of go over? I know one we've talked about is the social media, making sure, and you're talking about the parent education series, right, Ms. May?
Yes.
So we really want to, the initial one we've talked about was social media awareness and safety and security when it comes to the use of social media. And Ms. Giddens, you want to speak to a couple other things we're looking at?
Yes, so vaping continues to be a concern, so we want to make sure we get that information out to our families. Also, we're working again to talk about anxiety. So we have another professional coming back. He did an excellent job last year, Trent Morrow. He's coming back out to present that information again.
Have we thought about having these streamed so that if parents can't make it in person, they could still watch the session?
Yes, ma'am. And we have in the past recorded those and then uploaded them to our website, but we are thinking about some different delivery methods so we maximize the number of people that do come to those. They're really important. The things we're presenting to our families and our parents, they're things that really can help them in their everyday life and help them as they work with their students. So we are looking at some different ways.
My other question, the Bridge to High School pilot, which Mr. McCraw, you know, I really like that. Is that going to help us since the state is going to require career plans starting next year for middle school?
Definitely, Miss May, and you and I have had lots of conversations about it. It's a great thing. Miss Giddens, Mr. McCloskey, Miss Hancock have worked with our counseling teams at at the two schools so far, and we are taking it to Sun Valley and Porter Ridge now, and plan to take it district-wide when we can, but it will help us as we move forward.
Okay.
They've done a great job with it. We appreciate, all the conversations we've had with you. It's a good program.
And then I'm just going to positively say the Portrait of a Graduate, the first day of school when we went around to the schools, I mean, you saw this with like little first graders where they're teaching them like how to shake hands and introduce themselves and have a conversation. I mean, it's really like just basic things that is important, that they learn. So I'm really happy about how that's going. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. May.
Does anyone else have any questions? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to our next item. Thank you, Mr. McCraw and Ms. Giddings. Next item on the agenda is the extended strategic plan from the end date of 2024 to 25. And I'm assuming Michelle will give us a brief on that.
Yes, good morning, everyone. The reaccreditation of the district has been pushed out to the 2024-2025 school year. Staff believes that this information and the recommendations from that process are critical to the development of the next strategic plan. As a result, staff is asking for an extension to for the plan to begin, the next plan to begin the fall of 2025, and this one to end obviously just prior to that, in order to obtain this data and implement it to the best that we can in the next strategic plan.
So when will the new strategic plan, when will we get started on that?
We would
Next.
start implementing it for the 2025-2026 school year, that fall. So we would
Okay, so
receive
formulate it in 2024 or 25 and then,
yes.
okay.
We would take those recommendations that we receive in early 2025 and use those to implement, to develop the plan that we'll bring back to this committee, probably in the, I would assume, the July or August meeting of 2025.
Okay.
I move that we recommend approval of the extension of the strategic plan to the full board at the October 3rd meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the Student Health Advisory Council membership with Jared McCraw.
Well, good morning again, board members.
Yeah,
Dr.
welcome
Houlihan.
back.
This morning, we have the members of the SHAC committee, the School Health Advisory Committee. We bring that to the board for your review and approval. The SHAC committee did meet on September 19th. The two initiatives that they discussed were vaping and mental health. That is a group of people from our community, but that list of people, I think you have it in your packet. We just bring it to you again for your review and approval.
Does anybody have any questions on this? All right. Hearing none, I guess we need a motion to send this to the full board.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
George.
Thank you, Mr. McCraw. Next item on the agenda is the transportation update with Colin Moore.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I am going to share my screen with you. Give you a brief overview of our the presentation that we did include in board docs. Just a little quick overview for where we are with transportation. First slide here, and I won't read through all these points, just kind of highlight some stuff, get some information on about the 307 buses in our fleet here at UCPS. Got some information here on the ones that we have parked, the ones that were routed. So welcome to take a look at those. Next slide includes some information on staffing. We currently have 206 buses routed. And of those 206 that are routed, we've got it right now, we're standing at 23 vacancies. I want to highlight that number, but then optimally, if we don't include a lot of double routes and we get our optimal staffing would be, we'd have about 69 vacancies. So, you know, if we could get to the 69 vacancies, we could eliminate a lot of double routes. If you got any questions as I'm going through this, glad to answer those or defer to Mr. Joyner or Mr. Denton, who are on the call with us. Next slide is some more information on our staffing update, specifically about why people are leaving, the reasons for resignations. You take a look at that information, give you some data on where we are since July of last year. So this is not just some data that we tracked for the last summer. We've been tracking this for a little over a year. Information here on this slide on ridership. We actually submit our ridership numbers to DPI. I think that's due, I think it's October 16th. So we don't have our ridership numbers to date, but you can see that we have progressively increased since the pandemic in 2021 up to 93.6% last school year. So, or 22-23 school year. So we're looking to get our numbers in the next couple of weeks, and we'll certainly update you that at the October SPTT meeting.
So Mr. Moore, could I ask a question on that?
Absolutely.
So it looks like that's actually the number of students per bus versus percent full. What is our, what does a full bus look like? Like, what is our maximum capacity of a yellow
So
bus?
it varies with elementary, middle, and high. Mr. Joyner, you want to address, kind of answer Mr. Morreale's question?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Elementary capacity runs 71 to 72. That's with 3 in every seat. Middle school capacity is right at 60 if it's just middle school alone. They get that capacity, 5 students across. High school's 2 per seat. That's about 48 to 50, depending on the length of the bus.
So if I see 93.6, is that because the bus is being utilized for double runs?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. And that's just a base average number of students. I mean, there's different things that can drive the average up. You know, special needs buses, of course, have lower ridership. That's just the total number divided by the number of buses that we have, just a general average.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, our number of students, Mr. Morreale, have increased since the pandemic, but also that the number of students per bus have gone up because of the increase in double routes. So we've had more double runs. I'm sorry, double runs, not double routes. Had more double runs since the pandemic came back from the pandemic.
Understood. Thanks for clarifying.
Slide 6 gives you some information on our run counts. Making 618 runs in the morning, 668 in the afternoon. As you can see the note below, some buses are making as many as 10 runs a day, specifically related to the shortage of the drivers and those 69 vacancies that I referred to. Next slide gives you a little bit more information on the schools that have the double runs. Breakdown for elementary and the middle and high, which schools are having the majority of the double runs. And again, those are concentrated in the high populated areas where you can go out, make a mile or mile and a half run, drop a load of kids, come back and get the other ones. Just some facts here about our transportation department. Want to just highlight we're running over 26,000 miles a day, almost 5 million miles a year. Just some facts here about our transportation department. And that concludes our report. Be glad to entertain any other questions you may have.
I have a couple questions. The retention bonuses and everything for bus drivers, is that helping?
Brian, I'm gonna let you address that one. I know from my perspective, there's some interest in, especially the people that are trying to attract other drivers, but also the ones that are focusing on the attendance.
So, Mr. Helms, I think it's helping our core group of drivers we have, but as far as attracting new applicants, we're not seeing an uptick in applicants from that. We are actually struggling to get folks to apply, but it helps with our current group that we have.
Okay. And the second question I
follow-up.
had, okay, go
Yeah,
ahead,
can I
Jeff.
just ask a follow-up on that?
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
these are all part-time employees, right? They're not full-time?
No, they are full-time.
Yeah.
We have some part-time folks. Our part-time people, they either drive all mornings or all afternoons, but majority of our drivers are full-time.
Which comes with full benefits?
It does, yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
And my other question I had too, we switched routing software, didn't we? Or was that implemented?
It is not switched yet. We have to, after November, when we do our annual TD Thames report, we hope to start transitioning to Edgelog's newest software that's called Athena routing software. We do have to go through a process again that approved by the state. We hope to begin rolling that out December, January timeline.
Okay.
They're waiting. The holdup is they're trying to make sure with all the routing softwares, you have to have all the state reports compliant, and they're just ensuring that that's done on their side before they launch it with us.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions regarding transportation?
All right, I'm gonna ask. I mean, obviously, this is not an ideal situation in terms of trying to get drivers. I'm sure that you're racking your brains trying to come up with ideas. Are you thinking you're gonna bring some to the board sometime in the next couple months?
Yes, ma'am. We were actually working on some working out some details and some models that we hope to present in the future. We're not ready to go public with that yet. We're still working out a few details, but we are looking at additional measures to help combat this shortage.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And that concludes my report, Mr. Helms.
All right, thank you all for the report. Good job. I haven't heard any complaints really regarding busing too much this year, so good job.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is closing items. The next meeting is scheduled for October 25th at 8 a.m. if needed. And information to be taken to the full board. I have the Extend Strategic Plan to the 24-25 school year. The Student Health Advisory Counselor membership. And that's all I have.
Just for your information, we will have the PowerPoint that Mr. McGraw and Ms. Giddens presented today in the FYI section for the full board to see.
Okay, perfect.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you.
night.
Have a good
Good
day.
day.
Aye.
Okay, bye-bye.